Coming up on Freedom from Fire, first we'll learn about a Fire Academy program that teaches local students how to become emergency medical technicians while they're still in high school. Then later in the show, I'll talk with the founder of a forensic science organization that is geared toward our young people. Find out more about these two great programs on this episode of Freedom from Fire. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Freedom from Fire. I'm your host for today, Assistant Deputy Commissioner of EMS, Crystal Yates. Here at Freedom from Fire, we aim to improve your quality of life by giving you fire and life safety information. We also introduce you to our local safety partners. Today, we will have two great programs to share with you. In our first half, we'll learn about classwork run by the Philadelphia Fire Department at Randolph Technical High School in Northwest Philadelphia. Later in the show, we'll speak with a forensic scientist who's also the president and founder of the Association of Women in Forensic Science here in Philadelphia. We start our program with the career technical education at Randolph High School. The school offers experiences in many career fields, such as automotive technology and culinary arts. The programs give students a head start on a career and college application. Our focus is on the EMT program, which prepares students under the remote supervision of physicians for a career as an emergency medical technician. Let me introduce our guests. First, we have Paramedic Lieutenant Larry Bloomfield, who teaches at Randolph Skills Center. Then we have graduates from Randolph, Fire Service EMT Michael Jones Batters, and Fire Service EMT Najee Mack. Thank you very much for joining us here today. So, Larry, tell me more about the program.
Well, it's a very entailed program. From the 10th grade, kids are introduced to the program. They start off with EMT, that's emergency medical technician. They'll start the beginning portion of the book in the 10th grade. Once they get to the 11th grade, they will get the second portion of the book. Once they reach the 12th grade, their 12th grade year is when they'll actually start the fire science portion of learning, preparing. Everything that's in the program is geared and mirrors the actual fire academy that we have up on State Road.
So these students learn to be EMTs and firefighters?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what's taught in the program? Tell me about some of the things that they learn.
Well, during the program, the kids will receive many certifications in a lot of different things, all pertaining to the medical field and the firefighter aspect of things. They will receive CPR. They will get certification in hazmat. They will receive HIPAA training, which is, based on patient privacy. They will be certified for CPR. Once they get to the 12th grade is when they'll start their Fire 1. They'll have to get their Firefighter 1 certification, where that's under the tutelage of another instructor that we have here, that he will in turn prepare them for everything that we do with the actual fire department.
So what is a typical day like in the classroom?
Oh, wow. The typical day in the classroom starts with the 12th graders who, like I said, will receive training with confined space, rescue, putting up ladders. The 11th graders will already have had some prior experience with what it is that they're learning, so they will be right into the books. And the 12th graders who, the 10th graders that I have are a very energetic and eager to learn bunch of kids.
It sounds exciting. Are there any special requirements to participate in this program?
Well, any child that gets accepted to the Randolph School just need to go to the school's website. Every child has a means of signing up for whatever high school. I strongly urge Randolph as being one of the nicer schools if they're geared towards some type of technical training. To go to that website, sign up. They can specifically scroll through all of the programs, and like I said, there's a lot more that hasn't been listed. But please, by all means, go to that website and sign up for Fire Academy.
But of course, we'd like you to do fire and EMT.
Right, absolutely.
I have to put the plug in. Is Randolph the only school that offers this program?
Yes, we are the only EMT program in the high school of Philadelphia that offers any program based like this. Everything else is, you have to pay for, but this is geared towards trying to motivate some of our younger kids into not just a job, but this is a career. And this is one of the things that we stress to the kids, that we're giving you something that will not only help you maintain yourself once you get out, but will benefit you in almost every aspect of whatever it is that you do, from just being safe at home, being able to care for yourself, and the job opportunities are numerous if they complete the course.
So when the student graduates, they have these certifications. What happens next? How do they get the job, and what happens next?
Well, once a child who attends the program, he will receive 3 points towards once he's received his EMT certification and the certification for Firefighter 1, he will be granted 3 points that will in turn help him when he actually goes to take the firefighter test. That's something that the fire department puts out pretty much every couple of years. The list will come out and the child will have the opportunity and to take that test, but they will be also granted 3 additional points, which could definitely benefit them in the hiring process.
So when they're done, they're able to obtain a job as an EMT or a firefighter?
Oh, absolutely. With the EMT certification alone, they can work in a private ambulance. They can work in a hospital as a critical care technician. There's different aspects that certification can apply to, and the benefit to going into some of these schools, these places of work, is if they actually decide to further their training.
Okay, so now I'd like to get a different perspective. Let's talk to some of the graduates of this program. So we have Michael, and you told me to call you Nas?
You can call me Nas.
All right. So Michael, tell me about your experience with the program.
So my experience with Randolph it was a great experience just because the instructors there, they was some of the higher ranks inside the Philadelphia Fire Department. So some of my instructors was Captain Stallings and Captain Davis and Captain Bryant and a lot of good people that's on the job now. So my experience it went well because they treat us like family, as if it just wasn't a Monday through Friday curriculum. It wasn't a Monday through Friday thing, but it was more of the rest of your life. So Monday through Sunday, I could call them. Monday through Sunday, if I didn't have nothing, they're always willing to give it to me. Monday through Sunday, they would just be there for me no matter what time of the night it was. So it was more of a family there.
What made you decide to join the program?
So originally, I just wanted to be like a cop originally.
Oh.
So my mom, she was like, well, you need to join the fire academy, because at first I was in carpentry. So I switched fields to fire academy, and then when I went into it, I just fell in love with it. as of just the skills itself, of the hands-on experience that we did, going to the firehouses, the field trips that they gave us. It was just exciting. I was just watching the lifestyle that they lived and the lifestyle that I want in my future.
So now that you're a member of the Philadelphia Fire Department, how does that compare to what you learned in school? Like, well, what do you feel like being a member of the job?
Like always, being on the job, I speak very highly of Randolph. Even people that I don't know, I always talk about it. But being a member of the job now, it's a blessing to be able to come out of high school and make the certain amount of money that I make at a very young age. It also put me and set me up to be around older people, to put me on the right path and to know the important things that I need in life, rather than trying to get my life together at 30, but I'm getting my life together at 20, at 19 years old, joining the job. So being a member now, it's helping me mature into a better man, and helping me mature into just mature better in life, and how to help others, and how to keep my composure and think before I do certain things. And that's just from hanging around older people, but just also the skills that was instilled in me from being part of the program.
So now, Jay, tell me about your experience with the program at Randolph.
It was, to piggyback off of Mike, it was mainly the same. It was pretty much you come in as a young adult, you know, willing to really experience the world and find a career for yourself. But that don't really kick in by the time you until like 10th grade, to where it's time to buckle down and figure out where you really want to do in life. So I say around that time, it's when you first join the program. Then we met our instructors and everything, and they welcomed them to their home, and it was loving, it was caring, and that's something I wanted to do. As well, I came from carpentry. We switched over kind of like around the same ballpark, and I fell in love with it, and it was like my second home. So
Great. So now that you're a member of the Philadelphia Fire Department, how does it compare to what you experienced in the program?
It compared a lot, because focus, the discipline, it was the focus, the discipline, the motivation that they gave me. It all attached to the fire department and the fire academy in itself. So it prepared me in the future to brighten my future.
And so I guess I would ask all of you, really, if somebody out here that's watching is thinking about joining the Randolph School, the fire academy at the Randolph School, what advice would you give them? What would you say to them? I'll start with Najee.
I would say come in with a strong mind, willing to learn. Really, if this is really where you want to be, then really focus on that. Love what you do, and just willing to work hard.
And how about you, Michael?
I would say, if you wanted to join this program, take the risk, because you know when you come to this type of program, you get hollered at, and then a lot of your peers are like, "Yo, why you letting them talk to you like that?" But take the risk, because now the long ball, I feel as at a young age, I'm pretty successful, and a lot of people that laugh at you then is gonna be the main ones that be like, "Man, I should have did the same thing."
It's military-like, right?
It's military-like. We don't like it, but it's worth it.
Yeah, cool. And how about you, Lieutenant Bloomfield? What would you say if somebody's on the fence and they're not quite sure if they want to attend the fire academy at Randolph?
First and foremost, I would say come to the Randolph Academy. Come over. Come to the program. We will happily give you a guided tour, let you see some of the equipment that we use, let you take a look at what it is, sit down, have a conversation to see that if this is the proper calling, if this is something that you would like to do. For most of us, this is a calling. This is something that we've always liked to do. We enjoy helping people. After, I can almost guarantee you that we have something at Randolph for everyone, but more importantly, the Fire Academy is not just a job, it's a career. And we treat everybody as family. As you've heard from our past grads, and even to this day, I ultimately tell all of my kids that you need to view this classroom as not just a classroom, as a home.
So I have one last question. Are there grade requirements, like coming from 8th grade into Randolph, do you have to meet certain grade requirements, attendance, or things like that if you're considering joining?
Well, just of late, there was an open requirement. I'm not sure if that is still in place, but I'm quite sure, like I said, if for whatever reason, apply to the program, pick Fire Academy, and I'm quite sure that we have room for everybody.
That's great. That was a great discussion about a local program, educating our young people for future careers. If you want to hear about another great program, one that makes you think about all of those Crime Lab TV shows, stick around. When we come back after this, I'll have a guest here to tell you about forensic science. Stay tuned.
Wake each morning and get lost in the adventure, knowing that you will be ready for wherever the day takes you. Learn from those willing to teach. Their wisdom and their strength will become yours. They will impart to you a tradition of education nationally recognized for its value. A tradition worthy of your best efforts. As young men and women of LaSalle, we will invest in you the guidance to blaze your own path. To go forth into the unknown with new certainty. To realize your full potential as professionals, as leaders, as citizens. To take up your place as the accountants, speech therapists, journalists, and CEOs of your generation. To impact this city and the world beyond. These adventures are yours, and you are ready for them. Explorers are never lost.
According to the Mayo Clinic, exercising has stress-busting benefits by bumping up your endorphins and improving your mood.
Welcome back to Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Assistant Deputy Commissioner of EMS, Crystal Yates. Today's show is all about education. In our first half, we looked at a high school program focused on creating our future emergency medical technicians, or EMTs. Now, let's turn our attention to another program. This one is in forensic science. This field uses scientific principles to examine physical evidence at a crime scene. Our next guest is the founder of the Association of Women in Forensic Science, Incorporated. She's here to tell us about that group, along with a youth forensic science and education outreach program called Club Philly Forensics. Please welcome Ms. Antoinette T. Campbell. Welcome, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today. Your association sounds phenomenal.
Thank you.
So can you tell us about forensic science? Like, what exactly do you do?
So what I used to do for the past 17 years, I started at the chemistry unit at the Philadelphia Police Department, analyzing substances such as street drugs and prescription drugs. So now I work in the quality assurance unit with the police department and the forensic science unit.
That is great. So is it anything like we see on TV?
No, not exactly. It's not like television because the analysis takes much longer. It's very meticulous and it's a lot of work. And it's not as glamorous as television, so.
Disappointing, right?
Yes.
So tell us about the Association of Women in Forensic Science.
So the Association of Women in Forensic Science is a 501c3 nonprofit. I started in 2010, and I recruited some of my forensic science friends to run the organization with me. And from that came Club Philly Forensics, which is the after-school forensic science program.
So are there any other science disciplines in your association?
Yes, there is. So my background is in forensic chemistry. So I managed to bring on board other forensic science professionals that have backgrounds in crime scene investigation, forensic DNA analysis, arson, even serology. And I have other people too who have various backgrounds in forensic science.
Wow. So tell me about some of the reasons you felt it was important to create the Association for Women in Forensic Science.
So I felt it was very important to start the organization because, one, I'm a woman of color, and it was primarily based on my experiences with me not having a mentor and me being one of the first of my family, the only one in my family to graduate college. So I didn't have anyone to walk me through what it was that I really wanted to do or put me in front of different careers or opportunities so I could figure it out. So I felt like I had to figure it out on my own, which is why I started the association, so I can help youth to get them where they need to be, basically.
I'm impressed.
Thank
So
you.
the Women's Association, or what type of services do you provide from the Women's Association?
So from the Women Association, I provide networking events when I do have them in Philadelphia. It's a way to gather college students and professionals in one place so that they can exchange information. I also provide mentorship. I provide resources on the website. So I would say I'm a liaison between the forensic science community and the public with getting them the information they need about forensic science.
That is great. So now I'd like to focus on the youth outreach program, Club Philly Forensics.
Yes.
So how did you start this program? Tell me something about this.
So the program also started in 2010, and I wanted to have something after school for boys and girls ages 12 to 18, because although there is no age limit to forensic science, I encounter a lot of high school students and middle school students who wanted to get into the field. But again, they wanted a mentor, they needed information, they wanted to know like where should they start, what college they should look into, and also most importantly, a lot of them didn't know what forensic science is. They assumed that if they wanted to become a forensic scientist, it limited them to crime scene investigation. So the workshop is a workshop series that I usually have all year round. I actually have a workshop series that starts this Saturday, October 20th, and I bring in forensic scientists and we teach them about different disciplines in forensics, and we do a lot of hands-on activities with them. So they learn about the various forensic science specialties.
So are there, you said that there are boys and girls and you gave us the ages. Are there any requirements for the children to get into the program?
No, we don't have any requirements, just that they are interested. So if there are teens and tweens who are interested in joining the program, and whether if they're interested in forensics or not, they can still come to the classes. So.
That's so impressive. So can you tell me something about, do they get hands-on lab experience? Do they get any real-world activities?
So we actually simulate the activities so that they can get a realistic picture of what it is that we do in the laboratory. We can't bring them into the forensic lab because it's restricted to personnel only, and you know, them being cautious about cross-contamination in a real forensic science lab. So we make the space into a mock lab. That's what we do.
Yeah, that made me think of some of the crime shows.
Yes.
So are you teaching all of the courses, or do you have a team of people helping to teach the students?
So I teach some of the courses. I mainly teach the forensic drug chemistry courses, and I teach some other informational courses so that they can get the resources they need if they're interested in actually pursuing a forensic science career. But I also have other instructors that teach the classes as well. So they all have a forensic science background.
So the big question I guess parents are wondering is, how much does it cost?
So prices vary. The prices start from $25 for some classes, and for the Beyond Crime Scene and Autopsies Workshop series that begins this Saturday ranges from $275 to $625, but it's for 10 workshops, and it includes a t-shirt, which I'm wearing now, and they get a lot for their money. And the classes are taught by forensic scientists who work in the field that they're teaching.
So for parents or students that want to learn more about this program, tell me where they go.
So they can go to awifs.org, or they can simply follow #WomenInForensics if they can't remember the website.
So listen, Antoinette, that was so exciting to hear. I always watch those shows, and then in real life when they're saying, oh, we're still waiting for the forensics, I'm like, what's taking so long?
Yes.
So thank you for
You're
telling me
welcome.
why it takes so long.
You're welcome.
And then I guess I would also just add in closing, if you wanted to give advice to a young person that's looking for a career, what type of education do they need to seek out?
So they would need to have at least a undergraduate college degree in a natural science. So my background is in chemistry. I have a chemistry degree, and they need to figure out what it is in forensics they want to do. So they definitely need a science degree if they want to become a forensic scientist. So that's really important for them to know.
Thank you so much. That
You're
was so
welcome.
exciting to
Thank
learn
you.
about.
Thank you.
So, remember, if you would like to find out more about LaSalle TV, you can check out our social media sites. And if you're interested in learning about the Philadelphia Fire Department, visit our Facebook, Twitter, and web pages. I would like to once again thank our guests for joining us today. I would also like to thank you for tuning in and watching today. So, until next time, remember, fire is everyone's fight. Stay safe and remain free from fire.